Christmas is you. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Hi. Just letting everyone come in. Welcome to Rise of the Sacred Sovereign, yo. Radhe Radhe. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatname Shishima Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Shri Gauda Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gauda Premanandi Hare Hare Bo. Hi. Just letting everyone come in. Hi Amanda. Hi Naomi. I'm looking way up at the phone because I'm also looking online while people talk to me here, and I have a couple of thoughts. Hi. So we're here. This is such an honor. I am wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y. I am wholly in wholesome, welcoming energy to the exciting news and clarity that we are holding our Soul Culture Yoga Teacher Training for 2026, starting in January. It will end by May. Today is a day where on Rise of the Sacred Sovereign, I answer any questions, specifically about the training, but also about life, from the perspective of my spiritual education, learning always place. And for those of you who don't know, I know you guys know who are here. I am Jaishree, Dow-Spielman, and I am the creator of the Soul Culture Yoga School, as well as the Soul Mapping Matrix program. I am a spiritual mentor. I have been a yoga teacher. I am a homeschooling mom. And mostly in life right now, I am mentoring, and I am an Asterian astrologer doing readings. And so this is exciting because the Soul Culture Yoga School is always one of the greatest offerings of my year, of my ecosystem, along with our retreats and India, which is also in March. So, okay. I'm really excited. This year, I have been thinking a lot about my own process and why I do this training and why it's so exciting. It's like I look through life through the lens of Mars. I have Mars running through my chart as a planet. And it's not aggression when it's integrated, it's clarity. And so as a strategy, it has always been part of my life that I was born seeing, hearing, and feeling the battlefield of life, the human soul battlefield. My parents gave me the greatest name, Deborah, which means the bumblebee, which makes me think of Ganesha, but that's another story. But it also means the goddess, the purveyor, the seer, Deborah, who was on the hill in Israel on the battlefield. And she was like a judge. She was your honor, but she was also watching and strategizing. So I got that name. And then my Guru Dev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, many, many years ago, gave me the name Jaishree Devi Dasi, which is a name for Lakshmi Devi and Radha, a very sweet, special name. And so it was like always those opposites, those polarity in my life of being very joyful and sacred and initiatory and manifester, like with being a very clear seer, eyes on the soul battlefield of humanity, integrating. And that's the polarity of yoga, right? That's why yoga is so popular. But Mars definitely gave me a front row seat on conflict, and to the anatomy of conflict, to the architecture of desire, and the way people hide, the way they hide from their own power, the way when exact pressure is placed on someone, where we retreat, where we go, especially how humans, I watch how we get overwhelmed by chaos. And it's why I read people before they speak, and it's the way I am decisive, but also I am devotional and action oriented. And that's why I love the yoga school. Mars taught me about going to war without violence. And it's about cutting through illusion. And so when we are revealing our truth, when we are in our full dharma, when we are in our purpose, we stop pretending. Hi there, welcome. Sorry, I need to be focusing on you guys too, but I'm just kind of looking forward here. Yeah, so basically, the yoga teacher training allows me to help people see where they are comfortable in heat, where they're comfortable in various directions, and it allows me to lead you through the fire that you once avoided but are back in. So discernment is key, and I love yoga. I love soul mapping matrix, mentorship, and Bhakti, and it's that softness and that joy and that strategy that allows me to lead people in the Soul Culture Yoga School. Okay, so I want to get to the questions that you guys have. If you want to, just write in a comment. We're live, we're together. I have a couple of Soul Culture Yogis in this group right now. I could bring them in. I could bring you in later and ask questions. I'll also take questions that have already come to me. And I look forward to this. So the reason let me take a sip of water. You have your tea or water. That's the real behind me scene. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It's real. It's snowing. Okay, so I want to open up a couple of my notes here, full disclosure, so that I don't forget like what I'm doing. I think I'll remember. But so a couple of the basics. And so Naomi already has a question. This is good. Naomi says, what separates Soul Culture Yoga School from other yoga schools? What a question. It's a great question. So I think that I'm going to talk about the biggest objections that come up for me, to me, with me, in regards to people who want to join the school. So I'm going to answer that awesome question, Naomi, about what makes Soul Culture Yoga School unique as a yoga school. You know, you give a basic idea, like who the lead teachers are. We are Vaishnavas mostly, but also there are deep essence of other kinds of yoga, and certainly healing and somatics and therapeutics and Ayurveda in the Soul Culture Yoga School. And Jonathan Glass, Ayurveda doctor extraordinaire, healer, husband, father. He is a big part of our yoga school because we go through Jivatma energy healing training. And so we'll be doing 2 days of that, which is a very expanded, powerful, and simply expressed way to live in sattvic energy, in the mode of goodness, and also aligning with Soul Culture Yoga teacher training, being able to be neutral. So it's a big part of what we do of holding space. And there's other therapists and doctors and healers on the team. But it's also about where people are at in their life. So, for example, one of the biggest objections actually I got from Mandy, or not an objection from, so Mandy wrote, okay, I'm going to answer you, but I did the training 10 years ago and I'm returning again. It's true. Mandy was part of our very first 2015 yoga teacher training, which is the one Rasa Nidhi did when he was Kalanidhi Das. That's Clarence. And that's so incredible to me. that Mandy is coming back, and with her partner, who, and maybe you'll share a little bit more of why. But there are people that come to this training. Okay, I have graduated 36 people since 2015. Number one. I have had 2 people leave. That gentleman, I can't remember his name, maybe you remember him. He was so sweet in that first training, which was kind of sad because we had three men in there. But we had one gentleman leave there, and I had a beautiful, gorgeous goddess leave. She joined us 6 months after her beloved husband passed away. That was in 2016, I believe, my second or third training. And that was just a lot. There were a lot of best friends in that training too. But I think one of the greatest things that come up is I'm not in good shape. You actually said that the other day on our call, Amanda. We said it. And I want to say, like, welcome to the club. Welcome to the life of always running the idea of, am I in shape? Because yoga is about healing polarity. It's about establishing a baseline for health and then embodying that and then giving it or sharing or facilitating for others. You become a teacher in that way. A teacher is different from an instructor. A teacher is someone who has embodied and churned in the poignancy of healing, of the alchemy of the fire that we all go through every day. That is emotional, that is psychological, and that is physical, right? And then our spirituality, which is whatever your spirituality is, whoever your God, Guru, Ishtadev is, we honor that in Soul Culture Yoga School. So because we understand the cosmology of not only the healing in the Ayurveda and energy healing and somatics, along obviously with anatomy and physiology, but also the spiritual psychology, whether it's Jungian analysis, depth psychology, traditional Gestalt method. There are a lot of healers and doctors and teachers that have come through. So in graduating 36 people, I know each of them, and you're one of them, and there are others out there. They are all on their own path of what it means to be in shape, right? I'm using this example of that. I'm not sure I'm in shape, objection, to wonder if you should do a training. And the truth is, this training is about learning how to not let life run you, but for you to engage with and understand the externals of your life, the cosmology of life, and meaning all the different external factors that are going to have you bump up against your triggers as portals for growth, and not only growth, but bliss. So this training is about feeling safe in your body. This training is about feeling safe in your psychology. And this training is about feeling that you know how to choose yourself, because saying I'm not in shape, in some ways it's saying life has been running me and I can't choose myself. And choosing yourself without guilt is a huge part of the everyday experience of this teacher training. Another way it's unique is because a lot of folks feel like they don't have time. Now, like soul body healing, Naomi and I met a long time ago, who's here. I can't remember. You'll have to tell me in the comments. Did we do a retreat first and then mentorship, or was it mentorship and then the Bhakti retreat? I can't remember, but I do know we went to India last year. Hello. And hopefully again in March. But we're doing the teacher training now. And Naomi has already been engaging in her practice as a healer, as a somatic, physical healer. And so when we do Jivatma energy healing, when we learn the 27 koshas that run through the body, when we understand the chakra system, when we get yoga, we have a foundation. We have a system. we have an imprint in our minds, in our body, as well as in the world, outside of us as well, for what we call understanding Varnashram Dharma, what you might call understanding your human design. I'll talk about that later. You might call understanding what we call in soul mapping the sacred quadrants of your life. How am I going to understand my health, my wealth and finances, my relationships, and my spiritual practice, which is can be very esoteric and mystical and personal, through the center of my own lens, through my north compass. And that is what we're touching upon. And not thinking you're advanced really just means like, I don't want to be seen as a beginner. And yet being a beginner is the best thing ever. Being a beginner is how we have fun. Being a beginner is how we grow and learn. So I would say that becoming the beginner again is actually very important. So it was mentor, then the retreat. Yeah, that was good that you're answering. Thank you. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I hope I'm expressing why the training is unique. We're beginners. We need to become beginners, and we need to learn to hold space, and we need to learn to be neutral. Some of you guys know I was a professional actor until I was 30 years old. So I went to a classical training conservatory called Stella Adler, and that's where it's really fun and geeky to get into the cosmology of the acting world, of the method, of all of it. But basically, you have Lee Strasberg, who is about psychology and understanding, and which is very difficult for young people because young people haven't lived that much. You know, we have spiritual maturity as we get older. But then there's Stella Adler, and we build the character around the culture and the history and the identity of the writer at the time. And so basically being an actor is like being a historian. It's also like being a therapist, not a therapist in that you heal, because if you don't know how to do that, except through the medium of the work, which you do, but that you understand the psychology, the culture, the histrionics of what's going on. And so it's very cool. And we in soul culture yoga may not want to teach, but we do crave transformation, right? So it's not a performance by any means. It's the transformation part. And that's why I became a yogi. Amanda asks, beginning is the best, or says, beginning is the best. Your spiritual and postures are authentic. It's okay to not be asana queen. LOL. Yeah. Shy. Yeah. It's true. Thank you for saying that. And thank you. Naomi says she loves your insight to Mandy. I have noticed that, you know, post baby, post life, into the, what you call menopausal time, perimenopausal stages. There's so many words for the queendom that is. I can't express how many changes happened. I will talk much more deeply in training with my beloveds about all this personal stuff. I mean, it's incredible. I do share about it, of course, in books and things like that. It's not like I'm an open book. But when we connect together in this ritual that we do every day on the retreat or the immersion part of the training, it's totally life transforming. Speaking of, I just want to give you one more bit of information about the training that's coming up. Water. So some of you know this, but the schedule is like this. We begin this Soul Culture Yoga Teacher Training 2026 in January, at the time where I'm going to send you a video of me teaching a class with good voiceover and good visuals, and you start practicing. And so that's the first time I've actually ever done that. Most people used to come to classes, come to the studios, you know, for years and years. Of course, I did that. But now I'm going to be sending a video, and it's going to be really easy for everyone to start to learn the soul culture flow or flows. And then as we get more into practicing, you know, soul culture through vata, soul culture through Raja, soul culture through Kapha, right? All of that. Or soul culture flow through earth, water, fire, air. We'll do that together. Hi, Cami. I'm so happy you're here. Hi. And so when we start in January and I send you the video and you get the pre-recorded work, we'll also start to meet weekly. Then February 18th, and it did shift a little. It was the 16th. That's the first day of, it's President's Day. It's the first day of the vacation, but it's going to be the 18th to the 28th at gorgeous Akira, our neighbors. They're literally across, not across here, but across the other street, 123 acres. Our dear, dear friends, our kids are growing up together and they now have horses. I forgot to tell you, Mandy, they have horses. My friend Franzi got some. So Naomi, you've met them. I know others have come to our family retreat in August, but this will be a 10-day immersion. And that's when we are together and we are embodying and we are eating gorgeous food. I have 2 beautiful devotee friends, human beings who are coming to cook and assist. They're just so amazing. They have their own retreat centers, and they're beautiful devotees, married couple, but they have a zest for life and may want to do the actual training at some point too. So they're coming and they're supporting. Nimai will come. Hopefully, maybe I'll get Raghava and Banu to come and do a little kirtan and talk about vegan cooking. We have the houses. We have the 3,000 square foot geodesic dome, and it's going to be glorious. So that is the bulk of the in-person part of the training. It's February 18th to the 28th. And then months 3, 4, 5 to the end, where graduation is, which I think is going to happen May, before June. You will be practicing. You will be doing your work. We will be meeting every week. It's going to be pretty amazing. And I just want to say one other thing about that. And I'm going to also read, I just want to say, Amanda said, post-menopause is a new you too, pass through the different stages of our physical and spiritual lives. Holy God, it's so intense. I mean, obviously having a baby is intense. Obviously being a woman before that is intense. Obviously getting your period is intense, but it's all just so like wild. So we'll talk more about that. But yes, Naomi, thank you for saying that. It is incredible. Yes, Amanda, it's so exciting. So schedule-wise, that's what's going on. January, pre-work, get the video, start learning, start reading, meet me weekly. February, we're in the bulk of it, 2 weeks, all together, glorious, at Akira. March, y'all know I'm turning 50, so there's going to be a party. But besides that, then India is the end of March. I know not everyone in the training is coming with Nimai, Chaitanya Das, Jonathan Glass, and me, but you might want to. There will be a major discount, obviously, if you do. And then we're back, April and May. It's you guys practicing, you guys talking to each other, you guys sending me some video, me giving you feedback. Really important. I did send this out the other day in my newsletter list. If you're not on my newsletter, make sure you are. JaishreeYoga.com/newsletter, because I'm sharing a lot in there. I did a what you call a Black Friday sale. It's a weird word, but I did. So if you sign up for the training, this SCYS training, this Soul Culture Yoga School training, some of you already have, but if you sign up before December 10th, I am including a full Asterian astrology reading on your natal chart and a second up-level session to go over your animal totems and double animal totems. And maybe we'll get to your dashas, which we call tempests in Asterian astrology. And I can also hopefully turn your wheel and tell you how it's going to be going. But just know that astrology has become a huge part of what I am doing. And if you haven't gotten a reading, even if you're not doing the training, it's kind of the best thing ever. Okay. 2 more things, then I'm taking anyone who wants to come in live and say anything, or we can just stay with the comments if you're entertained by this. And hopefully it's informative, or as my mom would say, informative. And there are other accents in there. So You have injuries, limitations. Yes. Another club we are all in. As you guys know, I get migraines. I have structural damage done in my cervical spine. It's getting worse, but I can just do everything except like go on my head anymore. I'll still teach these things. But I want to tell you, my love, your body carries stories. Your body carries everything. And so this training is about making peace with that. We are going to make peace. It's expensive. I mean, some people say that, not my training, but some people say yoga training is expensive. Wow. I mean, I can't explain how much money I have dropped on my education in my life. Not including my college, which I didn't pay for. Grandparents and people put in for that. You know, I have started something. I've started saying to myself, I used to say, how can you not afford to do it? I'd say that to myself. But now I say, are you finally, like, will I finally invest in my healing? That's what I say. Will I finally invest in my healing? And then let myself make the mistakes and the growth and the learning. But of 36 people I've graduated, they're all rocking life. Freaking rocking. I'm talking about, like, I'm thinking of MGem and her modeling and her bestie, the other Emily, politician, like married babies. I'm thinking like lots of teachers, lots of therapists, just like everyone up-leveling in their personal life, lots of addiction healed, and that's a lifetime process. So just this whole idea of like what kind of promises you might have made to yourself in the past, like not being scared to commit and then allow yourself to go through it, make the mistakes, and just be a beginner again. Yes, this concept is the foundation of somatic experience. Yeah. And Mandy says it's such a peaceful new beginning, this training. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm excited for you to come, Mandy, because I know that your partner, you're investing in this whole new app of health, mental health, emotional health, life health. And so I'm always really honored when scholars or I'm just saying it, or like corporate folks, investors or just trainees come and do the training, not because they want to just be a yoga teacher, but because they want to learn how to be one. They want to learn how to hold space. They want to learn, all of the ancient mythology and wisdom from someone who lives it. And that's how I do it. I go to the people who live it. So that's part of it. That's part of what it is. I'm honored that professionals come in. I don't mind at all whether people end up teaching or not, although that is a great goal. And having a healing practice, a yoga studio, or a company that offers services, all of them are vital. So there's two more I want to say. One, I've heard people talk about fitting in, because I have a lot of folks up here now who aren't on here now, who have been coming to classes, and they're newer. This is much more like, it's the Catskills. So there's hunting and there's all these different things. And here we are, these Bhakti yogi, vegetarian, world schooling folks, but also completely in the world, understand AI, use all the technology necessarily. So there's an integration of worlds happening, and I'm really excited about that. But when people are afraid to fit in, I always think, I remember the feeling of either being lonely or the feeling of wanting to belong to something or being part of a tribe or a spiritual community that isn't part of our programming or our upbringing. It's really just about letting yourself be seen, allowing yourself to be seen. That's what I do. Allow myself to be seen. And very messy. I'm very, messy, but also vibrant. You are gorgeous and powerful, and not in a fake gorgeous way. It's true. Your soul is Satchit Ananda, perfect. Yo. So finally, what if you change too much? Remember we talked about this. What if I rise? What if you rise and you grow out of relationships? That's big. That happens. That has happened many times. And that's the thing. It's like, well, what is the growth that needs to happen for my soul? And whether it takes this training or many years, the changes that have happened in relationships, in marriages, in businesses, careers, in health, they're inspiring. I've seen it 36 times. And I'm honored to hold the space for that to happen with love and with softness and with respect. So that's it. I think I've been talking for a long time today. I think that I would love to do this again, and I'll do it soon. I have a few more thoughts around direction in devotion and what it really means to be flexible and all this. So I'll come on and do this again. But before I do, if anyone wants to say anything else, feel free. If someone wanted to come on, they can. But it's also a nice way to kind of close up for now. You guys feel satisfied? Is there any other questions you want to throw out there right now on this snowy day? All right. Let's close it up because I'm not hearing nothing. Well, I'm hearing and feeling that we might be good. I also hope the internet is still working because it's blizzarding. I'm so excited. Please take advantage of my offer. Get a free reading with me. Get a free astrology experience and session, and then get a free follow-up when you sign up for the Soul Culture Yoga Teacher Training before December 10th. How much kitten are we doing? What does that mean? Kirtan. Shiva, how much kirtan are we doing? So much kirtan. There's going to be, the answer to what's next is always more kirtan. We have so many inspiring musicians close by and also friends coming. We will learn chants. We will know what we are saying. We will understand the language, and we will practice just being and breathing and experiencing the chanting of the holy names. We will connect with Mother Earth as Mother Bhumi, Mother Gaia. We will connect to the sun as Surya Dev. We will connect to the moon as Chandra Dev. Every single planet and every single soul, every rock has a soul. Every blade of grass has a soul. And so we'll be honoring that and eating the most amazing food, but we'll also be speaking and chanting and singing without any worry of ego or recognition or performance or praise. And some of you might even be able to practice on the harmonium. We're going to bring lots of goodies and instruments that will be at Akira the whole time. So if you've been wanting to learn, you could practice your kartal playing or your harmonium playing. But yes, we will sing, and we will also dance. We will ecstatically dance, and we will dance on and off the mat throughout the whole time, because I think you know that. Bliss Body Alchemy, the workshop that I teach with Rasanidhi, as well as Discover Your Bliss workshops and trainings, are always about lots of groovy dancing and movement. Any other questions? That was funny, because I have 2 kittens here, as you know. So I thought, are you looking for the cats? All right, loves. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Let's do this again, okay? Does that sound good? Yeah? Hearts, love. Share this if you found it useful with anybody you think might be interested. I know there are other people interested in this kind of transformation. I know that overwhelm is a big thing, and I know that overwhelm will dissolve with the practice. Structure brings freedom. Yoga is about integrating all of that and navigating with devotion and love. Bye-bye, loves. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you soon. We'll do it again. Peace. Love you. Radhe, radhe. Vanchakalpatarubhyas kripa sindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Jaishree Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Jaishree Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Jai Jaishree Radhe. Radhe Radhe.